McDonald here, and I am on day 3 of my 75-day challenge to go on video every single day. And I was thinking to myself, I could have actually cheated because I have my live stream at 11 a.m. With Kenneth Edmonds, my every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you join in. We've got special guest Mike Stramaglio, who's going to be joining us and talking about ECS. But today's challenge for my 75 days, day number 3, is to talk about communication skills. And fortunately, this is one that's a little more in my wheelhouse than what I was talking about in time management yesterday. But it's great to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And certainly, I encourage everyone to tackle those topics that they may not necessarily be the most experienced at. So I'm going to offer some tips for communication skills today. And these are things that have certainly helped me along throughout my professional career. For those that haven't known me for a long time, I had a long professional sales career, both in the early days of the internet and then on into the managed print services world. And communication skills were absolutely key as an MPS specialist. Fast forward to today, my title at Tiger Paw is actually Chief Noisemaker, which means I have to do a lot of communicating. And that's not just speaking. And I think that's one of the things that we all have to realize is that when we're looking to communicate, tip number 1 is find the best forum for how to communicate depending on what you are trying to do. So I'll give an example. If you're trying to reach out to a contact and it's the beginning of the year and everyone's inbox is full, perhaps you don't actually want to use email to communicate with that person because you may not be able to get in touch with them as they're filtering through all those. I oftentimes, when I really need to get in touch with somebody, will either text them if I have that, and I'll also use LinkedIn. LinkedIn messaging is a great way to get in touch with people because there is less clutter. Far fewer people use that. Maybe that'll change after today, but far fewer people use it, so there'll be less clutter and more chance of someone actually getting in touch with you. Great for short queries like, "Hey, look, just trying to get in touch. When can we chat?" The second thing that I would say, and this doesn't seem on the surface to have anything to do with communication skills, but it has everything to do with communication skills, and that's read more. So holding up a book here, this is my latest. This was actually a Christmas present from my wife that I requested, The Swerve, How the World Became Modern. And I read a lot of books that aren't always business related because there's a lot of great business tips and things like that in other books that are speaking on topics that aren't necessarily in our wheelhouse. Get outside your box. Expand. So that's number 1, read more. The other thing that happens when you read is that you start to emulate or take on voices, right? And so people that are published authors obviously are pretty good at communicating. And the more you read, the more that you're going to start speaking like the things that you read. So reading good literature, reading often really helps you to be a better communicator with your speaking skills. The other thing is kind of related to reading, and that's writing more. So I produce a lot of blogs. I do a lot of writing for content, e-guides, and other things. I encourage everyone, no matter what role you're in your organization, to do some writing. That could just be a journal. That could be practicing writing some blogs of your own. Everyone's got something to say, so you might as well get out there and say that. But what's going to happen is the repetition of you writing more is going to make you a better communicator. As you start thinking about how you structure sentences or paragraphs, starting with an introductory statement, filling the body of the paragraph with supporting information tied to that introductory statement, and a conclusory statement, that kind of ties everything up, right? When we're communicating, we should try and do the same thing. Make sure that we have an idea that we're positing, make sure that we're contributing facts and details towards that, and a conclusion where necessary. This is really good practice because human beings, that's what we love to do, is get answers. And as we work towards answers in that kind of structured way, I find it really helps. Be authentic. I think that's another really important part, is that you have a voice. It's going to be different than other people's voices. I am definitely far less professional. One thing you're not going to see me do is pretend that I'm button down, tie wearing executive. That's not me. That's not what I do. That's not what I bring to the table in the business world, right? That when you hear me speak, or if you look at something that I've written, you've got a pretty good idea that it's me. And as you can hear in the background, Luna also has her own authentic voice. Make sure you use that voice. Be you. That's what people want to see. A few things I want to talk about now. We've talked about communication, and it's things that are upcoming, and I want to make sure that you check them out. Right. First of all, let me see here. I didn't even bother to share my screen, and I'm going to do that now. One of the things that I'm extremely proud of is the work that I have done with members at Tiger Paw on the resources page. And many of you out there watching this, either live or in recording, have probably either been a guest or taken part in some of the content that you're seeing here, right? It is an absolute treasure trove of information to help you better your business. I don't care what channel you're in. If you're a managed IT provider, if you're doing security and alarm, managed print provider, there is something in here for everybody. Some of it is very tailored to specific channels, and much of it is tailored towards just general, business practices, right? So if you're looking to better your business in 2023, and I think we all should be doing that, just make sure to come over here, check out some of the content for yourself, and I know you're going to love it. And when you do, you're going to come down to the bottom, and we'll get you signed up for the newsletter. And you can subscribe here to be able to make sure that you never miss an important piece of learning content. I do a lot of interviews with folks in here in the industry that are experts that can all teach us something new. So be sure to check it out. The other new thing, I just published on the LinkedIn platform this morning, a blog on 5 tips to better your prompts for using ChatGPT. This is something that I'm quite passionate about right now. I haven't seen the likes of it since the early days of the internet. I know that not everyone agrees, that some people think that this is a nothing burger, that it could be actually dangerous and all kinds of things. I'm a believer. So check out one of the biggest complaints, and speaking of communication, is that when you're using a tool like ChatGPT to help you generate content, that it doesn't have any soul, that it lacks kind of the human touch or the voice of the author, and it doesn't have to be that way. The 5 tips that I presented in the blog will help ensure that any of the prompts that you're developing will work with your voice, will work with what you're trying to get it across, and make sure that it's the best that it can absolutely be. So there we go. That's it. I did it. Day 3 going live, and I encourage everyone to do kind of the same thing. If you're not comfortable working on a video platform, or you think you don't have what it takes, etc., just do it. The more natural these videos are, this is what I love about living in 2023, that this is not about polished production. It is not about making sure that, you spend hours upon hours, sort of generating this video content. It's about you, and it's about things that you might have to share with the world, and you've got something to share. So I guarantee it. Get out there and share it. Whatever your expertise is, whatever might be of interest to you for the day or for the week or for the month, whatever prediction you might have, whatever thing you have to contribute to the world on LinkedIn that you can think can help folks, just get out there and do it. And if you need some help, you can reach out to me. Just check my profile on LinkedIn. and work with a lot of folks to actually help them with building their pages to make sure they're more effective. And remember, until next time, keep learning.